Welcome to my brand new workshop. I've just finished building it out with this massive 12-foot workbench and mobile island desk, a novel tool wall made of copper wire and full of unique storage solutions, a dedicated 3D print station, and my own personal private hardware store. To tell the story of how this all came to be, we need to rewind the clock back to the day that I was moving out of my old workspace. For the past 4 years, I've had a studio in this makerspace. Within these 200 square feet, I've made robots, interactive LED art, installations for children's science museums, and custom booths for corporate trade shows. But today, that chapter is coming to a close. I've recently accepted a new job that comes with its own studio space. I'm moving up here with my good friend and neighbor from Maker Labs, Maddy. This is Maddy. She's a textile artist with a background in industrial design and engineering, and she'll be up here also working on some projects. She makes really fun interactive sculptures, soft goods. I can't wait to show you some of her work. How are you feeling about the move?
Very excited. Not looking forward to sorting through 5 years of fabric and craft supplies, but it has to be done.
So she'll be in the back area here. We have these existing closets already in the space, as well as this couch. But the rest we can just kind of do whatever we want with. So for my area, I'm thinking along this wall, I want to build a big long workbench and also use this as a filming backdrop for more videos like this. Ever since early humans started whacking rocks together and accidentally invented tools, every workshop has begun with a sturdy workbench. As someone who usually works alone on projects, having Maddy collaborate on the assembly of my workbenches is a massive help in making sure everything comes together square and true. From my very first day in this space, I knew I wanted 2 workbenches. One fixed against the wall and one on caster wheels, giving me total flexibility to rearrange the studio.
Ooh.
Oh, it glides so nice. Whether I need to open up the floor space to drive robots around or merge desks together when building something large, I love the freedom a set of wheels can provide. An additional benefit to an island desk is that when I film videos like this, it provides a great platform for me to present my work while also keeping myself inside the video frame. I even picked the workbench dimensions with YouTube videos in mind. The table's edges follow a 16:9 ratio, so when I shoot top down, everything stays perfectly in frame. Like with the mobile desk, I spent a lot of time ideating over the overall dimensions of the main workbench, as they're a very personalized choice and should be picked based on your unique body length measurements. Many of the electronics projects I work on have a very short vertical working height, so a tabletop at 40 inches means that I can easily reach my work without having to bend over. That said, if I was working on projects with larger assemblies or a taller average build height, I'd want a lower desk to reduce the strain caused by reaching up high. The desk depth of 26 inches is perfect for my wingspan, as I can easily reach tools on the wall both high and low. One of the nice features of lumber is that it's so easy to reuse. In my previous studio, I had a tall shelving unit, which I've since recycled and repurposed to make this shelf unit that spans the full length of the wall. The finishing touch to the workbench is adding this wood trim around the border. Largely cosmetic, it covers the seams between neighboring plywood panels. With the shelves mounted, I've gone ahead and loaded them up with all my boxes, power supplies, large bits and pieces, and then down on the table, I've loaded up the workbench with all my tools. With the workbench in full swing, I need to start thinking about new storage systems. I love these $4 Sterilite containers, but they're not great for tiny hardware pieces. And let's be real, most organization solutions are too expensive for what is just a cheap piece of injection molded plastic. While there are open source 3D printed options available, I don't want to oversee the hundreds of print hours required to fabricate the volume of containers I want. Instead, I called in backup. And now, I have a solution waiting for me at a rendezvous in an IKEA parking lot. While my parents were traveling on a road trip last year, I made a special request to fill their car up to the brim with these budget-friendly containers from Harbor Freight.
All that bag is your stuff.
There's so many of them. The car's pretty loaded up right now. I've got 5 of these boxes for a total of 100 grey trays, then 20 of these slim boxes, and 8 of these slightly thicker variation as well. So I got my work cut out building a big storage rack system for all of these guys. This is a crazy amount of storage. Oh. To build that storage rack, I'm taking the lazy route, designing it in CAD, exporting the file, feeding a plywood sheet into the CNC, and relaxing while the robots do the hard work. To be honest with you, my new storage system is excessive and perhaps even indulgent. The motivation for this comes from the belief that a single missing bolt or resistor is enough to completely derail a project, breaking me from the flow state as I run out to the hardware store, or even worse, wait several days for a shipment to arrive. In my dreams, I fantasize about having a personal, private hardware store with every imaginable component less than a couple meters away from me at any given moment. This new organization system is my attempt to manifest that indulgent fantasy. I'm so happy with how this is gliding. With this storage rack complete, it's time for even more storage. I'm going to be covering this entire section of the wall in these grey wall bins. I've gone ahead and stuck the first rail on, and it's just going to be a case of putting in a lot more screws and covering up this entire section. I think I have 22 of these rails that I'm going to be putting up. So 22, 8 screws, about 176 screws I think I'm going to be putting in the wall. One part of my studio that I haven't really shared yet is this corner, or rather this vertical coffin. What am I going to utilize this space for? I've been thinking about it a lot, and I've decided that this would be a really great place for my 3D print station. I'm thinking of building a small, tight little custom shelving unit here, with the area around my torso being where I store the 3D printer, and then around my head, I think filament storage. Unfortunately, I'm terrible at remembering to film the build process, so here's the finished bench. The print station is finally complete. I got all my tools for easy access here. I've got a selection of reusable vacuum bags that I use to store my filament when, I'm not using it for a while and I want to keep out all the moisture and humidity. And then a bunch of additional storage boxes with pieces that I don't really go to that often. They're a bit out of the way from all the other hardware. And obviously the 3D printer. Turning our attention back to the main workbench, these are going to be the first 2 wall features. I've got a drill/power tool storage unit. And then this here is going to be a rack for storing all my tape, my wires, all those small circular things. I've been giving a lot of thought on how I want to go about building out my tool wall here. In my previous studio, I utilized a traditional pegboard system, and while the hooks can be incredibly frustrating falling off all over the place, this can be combated quite easily with plastic clips that go over them and just retain them in place. And with this, I actually really love the pegboard for 60 or 70% of my tools. It works perfectly. However, that last about 30% of tools, they just have such unique shapes that it's very hard to hang them off the commercially available hooks and fixtures. And so I didn't really have a good way to mount them. And so for this studio, I was thinking about different approaches that I could use to solve that. And the obvious answer for some studios may be a French cleat system. You know, you can make super customizable jigs for every single tool, and you can reconfigure it all the time any way you want. But for myself and my own workflow, I find that once I have all my tools up on the wall and I'm happy with their placement, I'm not really moving them around a lot. And so one of the big selling features of that French cleat system, the reconfigurability, it just isn't utilized for me personally. So what am I to do? Well, I was browsing YouTube and I found a really unique solution by a creator called Herrick Kimball.
Hello, I'm Herrick Kimball.
He showed how in his workshop he used 12 gauge solid core copper stripped out of old Romex cables to make custom hooks and mount them on the wall with panhead screws. Making the hooks is a pretty straightforward process. With a pair of pliers, I'm able to bend a loop that the screw will go through. Then I can create a custom hook that's unique to each of my tools. It's very reminiscent of a pegboard system. However, because you're making your own hooks, it's fully customizable and you're not limited to the half dozen regular commercial hooks that are available. The second feature, because we're drilling it directly into the wall, it solves the issue of pegboards unhooking themselves and falling down all the time. Thirdly, it's not too expensive. I bought this copper spool for not that much money, and Herrick in his video shows how he recycles it from old Romex cables, so essentially free if you're doing a lot of contracting work and have Romex lying around. Unfortunately, not everything can be hung on hooks, but I've had a ton of fun creating custom seat belts to hold items like my calculator, lighters, chisels, and files. I have other items mounted on little wooden platforms like this pencil holder my dad made for me last Christmas. I really love this one. Another gift is this magnetic knife holder from my sister. Unfortunately, I already have one in my kitchen, so I'm repurposing this new one in the workshop as a way to hold various driver bits. To store my screwdrivers, I used a piece of aluminium bar with custom-sized holes. This allows me to drop the screwdrivers through the table without worrying about the drop damaging and chipping the melamine tabletop surface. And because I can never get enough storage, I'm installing 3 racks of plastic tray containers. These will need to get resorted and labeled in the future. With that, I think my studio is largely complete. Maddy has also finished her studio with the cutting table, a fleet of sewing machines, and her own pegboard. I'll have her socials linked down in the description below. Go give her a follow, she makes some really amazing art. Now that my studio's finished, I can't wait to dive into some new projects. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.